Title: The Boy Who Saw with His Heart. In a small, peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and whispering forests, there lived a boy named Tommy. Tommy was not like other children. He was born blind and had never seen the colors of the sky or the faces of his friends. But Tommy had something special that no one else in the village had: a heart so full of love that it overflowed, especially when it came to animals. Tommy's parents had always encouraged him to explore the world in his own way. His father would describe the vibrant flowers in their garden, and his mother would help him feel the texture of the smooth river stones. But what Tommy loved most were the dogs in the village. He could always hear their excited barks and feel their warm, wet noses nudging his hand. One day, a stray dog wandered into the village. It was a thin, scruffy dog with matted fur, and it was clear that it had been lost and alone for a long time. The villagers were kind-hearted, but they were busy with their own lives and didn't have time to care for the dog. So, the dog roamed around, searching for food and a place to rest. Tommy heard about the stray dog from his friend, Lucy, who often described the village's happenings to him. "They say the dog is too wild to approach," Lucy said. "No one can get close enough to help it." But Tommy's heart ached for the poor dog. He knew what it felt like to be different, to be misunderstood. He asked his parents if he could try to help the dog, and though they were worried for his safety, they knew how much it meant to him. The next morning, Tommy set out with his wooden cane and a small bag of treats. He walked slowly, listening carefully to the sounds around him: the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the soft patting of paws on the dirt path. He reached the edge of the village where the stray dog was known to wander. Tommy knelt down and called out gently, "Here, boy. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." At first, there was no response, but Tommy waited, his heart full of patience and hope. He spoke to the dog in a soft, soothing voice, telling it stories of the village, of the kind people, and of the warm bed that was waiting for it at home. Slowly, ever so slowly, the dog approached. Tommy couldn't see it, but he could feel its presence. The dog sniffed his outstretched hand, hesitated for a moment, and then licked it. Tommy smiled, his heart swelling with joy. From that day on, the dog never left Tommy's side. The villagers were amazed at how the once wild dog had become so gentle and loving. They couldn't believe that Tommy, who couldn't see, had managed to tame the dog that no one else could.
But Tommy knew the truth: it wasn't about sight. It was about feeling. He could feel the dog's loneliness, its fear, and its need for love. And in return, the dog seemed to understand Tommy's world in a way that no one else did. The two became inseparable, and soon other dogs in the village began to seek out Tommy's gentle care. Tommy's gift grew with time. He became known as the boy who could communicate with dogs, who understood them in a way no one else could. People from nearby villages would bring their troubled or lost dogs to Tommy, and somehow he always knew how to help them. Years passed, and Tommy grew older, but his bond with dogs never wavered. He became a beloved figure in the village, not because of what he could not do, but because of the incredible gift he possessed. Tommy may have been blind, but he saw with his heart, and that vision was more powerful than anything his eyes could have ever shown him. And so the boy who couldn't see taught the world that true sight isn't about what you see with your eyes, but what you feel with your heart. And with that vision, Tommy helped countless dogs find their way home, just as he had found his own place in the world.